Hi Red Deer. There's been some questions recently asked about why the City Council is having another community committee to discuss the aquatic centre. I think it's really important when you're making a decision. From my sense, it's about autocratic and democratic leadership. And we have an opportunity to take some time to further consult with the community, to bring people along who still have questions, to provide clarification to some concerns. And that in itself, I think, will bring our community together, which I hope will make a better decision. The community, I think, has questions on the aquatic centre. I think it's imperative that Council does not make an autocratic decision and say we're doing this or that, but rather have a little bit more time to have some dialogue. And in the end, what I think, whenever you have more dialogue and consultation, you make a good decision. I also think about autocratic leadership. For instance, if the snow removal is a good example. We didn't consult on snow removal. Council moved into action. We made a decision. I use the analogy, if you're in an airplane, you don't want the pilot to consult with the people who are riding in the plane what to do. Council reacted, and we did that in accordance with what was necessary when the snow was falling. So overall, my style of leadership is about engaging people. I think the more responses and answers to questions we have, the better response and result we'll have in the end. There's a term that I often think of, and it's all of us is smarter than one of us. So if you've got something that you'd like to get off your chest or an idea or concern, for me, that's as a leader, one of your council's members for the City of Red Deer, I'd like to hear from you because that helps me make better decisions in my leadership. I've lived in Red Deer since 1975, so I've certainly seen our city grow and evolve and change. And we have Red Deerians who have lived here since that time and even before, as well as new Red Deerians who arrive each day. And with that comes, I think, a changing dynamic in terms of what citizens expect. I think about, for instance, the recent bike lane discussion and how there was consternation about how that was put forward. Perhaps I'll agree that more dialogue and engagement should have happened. But in the end, I think we come up with a good decision which provides a choice for citizens. For instance, we now have people who are able to use the cycling lanes. It is their mode of transportation. We have people who choose to use transit, and Council is engaging in terms of having good transportation routes for transit. We have a good road system and good walkability for those who are pedestrians. I also think about the culture in our city. A lot of times culture on any type of financial planning is the first thing to be cut and the last thing to be planned for. But if you look at what people, especially specifically young people, choose to come to a city to live, engage, and have a business, it is about those cultural components. So we have to think about that. We must also think about our environment. Our weather patterns are changing, and whether or not you believe in climate change or not, we as leaders, whether it's federal, provincial, or municipal, have to give credence to that, and we have to plan accordingly. The flood is a good example in terms of planning and mitigation, as well as our environmental concerns. I also think about our investment in terms of planning for the future, the growth of our, what I call, pipes in the ground. It may not be evident what we're seeing, but clearly that's important as our city grows and develops, that we have plans for our wastewater, our water infrastructure. The South Wastewater Commission is another thing. We're doing regional planning. I think that in the end that's efficient. It saves tax dollars. As well, it's a collaborative approach that we work with our region as a whole.